What's up, creeps? I'm Exorcist.
And I'm Boo.
And we are Scurred. Or are we?
I don't know, are we?
I don't know. What we're going to do tonight is we're going to talk about a film series that we've watched, but we're only going to talk about episode 1. And that series is called The Blackwell Ghost. Now, it's been playing for free on Amazon, of course. We missed the boat, so I had to pay for each episode. But I think it was worth it overall. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what kind of film this is, Boo?
It's like a documentary on basically paranormal activity.
Okay, so as we would define it, it's a paranormal documentary. It's actually, like, the main star is the guy who is making the documentary, which is pretty typical, I guess, for a documentary. Interesting overall plot. So let's talk about that a little bit. From your experience, how did you see this plot? What was it like for you?
Basically, it was a guy who has written other movies, basically wanting to try a different type of movie and wanting to go experiment with places that he was told were haunted.
Okay. And so, yeah, I mean, we see the guy, he gets an open invitation to go hang out at this quote-unquote haunted house where this gal named Blackwell lived. And there were some tragedies. We won't go into it because we don't provide spoilers here on Scurred. You got to check it out for yourself. But there was some trauma. There was some background there that made this place a pretty legitimate haunting kind of place. So the guy convinces his wife, "Hey, let's go down. Let's take a trip." This all takes place in Pennsylvania, and they decide to spend the night. So when they go and they just spend the night, it starts off pretty chill, and then all of a sudden, quite literally, all hell breaks loose, and there's quite a few different scenes that are somewhat unsettling. Overall, do you think there were good jump scares in this feature, or was it a little more relaxed? It seemed like it kind of started off slow to me.
It definitely did start off slow. As far as jump scares go, I don't think there were really very many jump scares. I think you could kind of predict that something scary was going to happen, like the music would get more intense, or you could just feel it that something would happen. But yeah, I mean, I definitely don't think there were too many jump scares.
Okay. Yeah, and I agree with that. I mean, it was very paranormal kind of jump scares, the stuff that you expect, things moving, lights swinging, that kind of thing. So I think it was overall pretty typical. And I don't know that I would say I was real scared during the whole thing. Ending is important to us. I've seen so many horror movies that the first 60 minutes of it are fantastic, and then the last 30 are just like, what just happened? This one wasn't really too bad of an ending, and I guess that's my opinion. I'll ask your opinion, but what do you think? I mean, did it open up for a sequel as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it did leave some room for more to be done.
Mm-hmm. And what we've learned is that there are actually 4 additional films. As it stands, we watched 4 of them in a row last night. We'll plan on finishing the last one tonight. And they all do kind of tie in together. At very least, the guy making the documentary, ties them together, saying, there was a lot of comments and naysayers on social media, that kind of thing. So it really interacts and plays with the story overall pretty well. Okay, overall Scurred. Were you scared or not scared?
I definitely don't think I was scared.
Okay, and I concur. I was not scared during this movie. I thought it was compelling. Obviously, it was pretty good. We ended up watching basically 5 hours more of these installments. So you know how it works. Scale 1 to 10. 1 being this was My Little Pony. 10 being what would you give it?
I would give it a solid 2 or 3.
Okay, we'll call it right in the middle because I agree. So let's call it like a 2.5 on the scare scale, and that's not too scary. Good story though. Overall, do you think you would recommend?
I would definitely recommend. I mean, if I'd sat there and watched 6 hours of movie, obviously I think it's good.
Okay. Yeah, and I recommend it too. I don't think this is one that, you're going to sit there the whole time and be like freaking out. We had the littles watching it, 11 and 6, and, there's no gore, there's no extra graphic stuff, and they were somewhat scared, but for 11 and 6, they were pretty tough about it, and I don't think they were all that scared either. They do intensify a little bit, I think, in the second and third and fourth, and that's something that we'll talk about in our upcoming films. So stick around, creeps. We'd love to have you subscribe, and share with your friends. The more subscribers we get, the more we can make these videos, and the more our channel grows, and the more you know about horror films. That's it for this edition of Scurred. I'm Exorcist.
And I'm Boo.
Sleep tight.